Hey everybody, this is Joyce. Hang on just 1 second. I'm trying to get us all live here so I can see what we are doing and see all of our comments here. There we go. There's Diana, so I know that I am at least live. Hello at Fabulous Cards. How are you doing this evening? I'm trying to, it just says at Fabulous. It must be Terry. Hey everybody, this is Joyce. Hang on just 1 second. I'm trying to get us all up. There we go. Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. All right. Let's get us live. There we are. All right. Hi, everybody. How are you? I just want to show you all my little Grinch nails. Look at that. They're all Grinchy. Isn't that cute? Because we're all Grinched out this season. Man, have I got something fun planned for you guys tonight. All right, let me grab the supplies. I have them all over here on the table because I was going to show you them. All right. Let us get going. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Ann. Diane and Love. She says, yay, I get to watch tonight. Uh-oh, the cookies. Teresa is in the house at Fabulous Cards. Teresa at Fabulous Cards. Hello, Teresa. All right. Tonight, I have a surprise for y'all. I have something fun that I want to show you, and then I'm going to show you how to do it, and then I'm going to tell you why it is so fabulous that you need to do it, that you need to do what I'm showing you, okay? So have you ever saw, I'm sure you guys as crafters and journalers and all of that fun stuff, you guys have seen these great little glassine envelopes, right? So tonight, I'm going to show you why you need to save all of that wonderful tissue paper from your Christmas gifts because you're going to need it. Now, last year, I showed something really cool about Christmas wrapping paper, but unfortunately, I showed it after we had Christmas, and so everybody threw theirs away. So tonight, I'm going to show you ahead of time what you need to do. Hi, Marina. Good evening. I'm going to show you about saving your tissue paper before Christmas so that way you guys will know to save it, okay? So I'm going to show you why and then show you what you can do with it when it's done. I'm going to show you how to make your own glassine paper. I'm going to show you why you need to save all that tissue paper from Christmas. And hopefully you will learn something tonight that you did not know before. So I want to remind you that our virtual retreat for the end of January makes a great gift, you guys. I am so excited. The paper has come in that you're going to be getting. The dyes and supplies that are going to be headed your way are coming in. And everything is really starting to begin to come together. So if you have not asked Santa for that retreat, it is a virtual retreat. So you're going to be able to join us from anywhere. You're going to be able to craft in your pajamas. It's going to be recorded and you're going to be able to access it anytime you want. So we are really looking forward to that. We're getting very excited. The boxes will be going out after Christmas. And we're excited and hope that you will join us. It's only $175. It is a 2-day event. You're going to be getting instructions. You're going to be getting YouTube videos. You're going to be getting live. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you have not asked Santa for that virtual retreat, you need to ask him. It's on our website at BoQCreations.com. And you'll see it right up on the front. Elizabeth Craft Designs will be there. Pink and Maine will be there. We will be there. Artistry will be there. That's going to be a fun one. So, like I said, I'm already getting the supplies in. It's really looking amazing. I can't wait until you guys get that stuff in your hands. All right. First thing you're going to need. You are going to need freezer paper. Do not substitute. You may also use, Diane, I'm so glad to see you. I have not seen you forever. How are things going? All right. This happens to be a cereal bag from my kids' Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I just sprayed some of that power wash on it. I washed all the oils and residue off. I rinsed it and then I dried it. And this has been used 4 times today. So this has been my best option, was a cereal, a cereal bag. So I kind of like that because I can use it over and over again. But if you don't have cereal bags, use some freezer paper. And if you choose to use the freezer paper, please make sure that you are using the side that has the shiny surface or the waxy surface, okay? Do not use the paper side because you will be so sad that your paper is not going to come off of here. So this is just a substrate that we're going to use. I'm going to put the paper underneath of my bag here so that you guys can see, because I don't feel like the clear plastic paper is showing up. So I'm just going to put that right on top, and then we're going to have a great time. All right. Let me grab my other bottle. Okay. I don't know first if I should show you what we're going to make or show you how to make it. I think showing you how to make it makes it more fun to see what you're going to do with it. So let me tell you how this goes. Buy any cheap white glue. Cheap white glue. That's all you need. Okay? Cheap white glue. Teresa in the house. I just saw that comment. That's funny, Teresa. So you're going to need any cheap white glue. I'm using the Aleene's TurboTack from Dollar Tree, because all you're going to do is put it in a bowl or some sort of reusable container. What I do is I save the bottle, and then after I do the mixture, I put the mixture back in the bottle to keep it, because that way it doesn't, it doesn't get messed up. And then you're going to put about 2/3 of a cup of glue in here, and then about that much of water. It's just really, really, let me go over and make sure that we are on Facebook also, because I want to make sure that our Facebook friends, that they know that we are here over on YouTube Live and that they can join us. Let's see, maybe or maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. This is why I really need a tech person. All right. If somebody will post our link on Facebook, that would be absolutely amazing to let people know that we're over here doing this tutorial live for you guys tonight. Okay. So I'm going to grab some tissue paper, just some regular, old-fashioned, regular tissue paper. Now this will work with most any kind of really thin paper. You could even stamp your own tissue paper and make this happen. So if it happens to not be Christmas and you can't find any really cute tissue paper, you could do it any time of the year, I think. I think it's really one of these projects that if you're doing a baby book, then get some baby tissue paper. Or if you're doing a birthday, then get some birthday tissue paper. Whatever you want. This one happens to be some Christmas tissue paper. And I love buying this stuff. This is my favorite thing to wrap gifts in. It's lightweight. It's definitely many, many, many different kinds of patterns. So that's always fun. And I'm just going to cut a piece off of here. I'm just going to try to make it match with my my piece of my piece of plastic bag that I have down here, because I don't want it hanging off. All right, so, all right, let me get my comments back up here and make sure I can see you guys. Sharon, how are you feeling, babe? Aw, thanks, Diane. She says, I always watch. Okay, So you know that every tissue paper has a front side and a back side. So you want to make sure that your front side is facing up. All right, this is going to blow your mind, guys. At least I hope it does. I hope it blows your mind. So you're going to take about 2/3 of a cup of glue and about the same amount of water. You want it to be kind of runny, but not, you want it to stick to your brush like that. Okay, you want it to stick to your brush, but still be liquidy. So I used about 2/3 of a cup of glue. I just put it in here, added some water until it was the desired consistency, which is kind of like that. You don't want it running through your brush. You just want it dripping off. So it's kind of like the consistency of warm honey. All right. So then you take your glue mixture and you paint it on in a nice thin layer onto your plastic bag or your freezer paper, whatever you're going to use. And you're going to put the glue on here. Let me get this. I want to stay in frame for you guys so you can see. So you can see that I am just putting this glue on. And if you have it in a squirt bottle like I do here, you could actually even just squeeze it on there like that. It's just glue and water. It's not going to go bad. Make sure you put the water though, guys, because I promise you, trying to do this without the water in it is not going to be very easy. Okay, I have tried that and it just did not come out very well. All right, so there's my glue layer. Getting excited that Christmas is due on the 29th. Oh my goodness. Well, I hope everything works out well and she has that baby. Okay, so I'm going to take my tissue paper and I'm just going to start, like you see, I folded it because once it sticks, it stucks, right? It's stuck once you stick it down. So I'm just going to do my one edge and then I'm gently going to let it kind of fall down on top of the glue all by itself, just like that. And you'll see immediately it starts to suck up the glue, okay? You're going to take your glue mixture right here and you are gently, and I say gently because this paper will rip very, very easy. You're going to gently and maliciously, or not maliciously, what is that word? Where you make sure you make a pattern. I can't remember the word. Intentfully, purposefully. I'm not a walking thesaurus, guys. You want to make sure you get all of the areas, and you can see why using a piece of plastic underneath here or the plastic side of the freezer paper is important because this will dry. All right. I know you guys are thinking, oh my goodness, Joyce, what are you doing? I promise you in just a minute, this is all going to make sense. All going to make sense. Okay, so I'm just going to continue to spread the glue as far as my paper is on the plastic bag. And I want to make sure that I have used the front side of the tissue paper. This is the front side of the tissue paper. Now this glue will dry clear. No worries about that. Okay. All right, so I have smudged this all over the paper. All right, now, one of the most important things that I found out real quick was that this is kind of hard to get off of the paper. So I just took my paintbrush like this and just kind of go around the edge just so that when it dries, I can get my finger underneath there without, like I've just kind of wrinkled up the edge a little bit with my paintbrush just so that I can get up underneath that with my finger after it dries and I'm able to peel it off, okay? So I just do that in a couple of places on the top and the bottom just so that I can make sure I've got it, okay? So after you smudge your glue on, you can absolutely use your heat tool. It takes freaking forever to dry on this plastic thing, but I promise you, if you just paint it and leave it overnight, the next day, it is absolutely amazing. It's like, ta-da. So I'm going to set this aside. And oh, by the way, while it's wet like this, if you want to take and sprinkle some glitter, it just adds a little bit more shine to your paper. You can go ahead and sprinkle. I know you guys are seeing me sprinkle glitter. This probably means that hell's going to freeze over, because I'm sprinkling glitter with my fingers. This is torturous for me, but I do it for you guys, And I am using the Elizabeth Craft Designs Ultra Fine Glitter. Blech. Okay, can't get it off my fingers fast enough. But anyway, when this dries, all this glitter is going to be in this paper, and it's going to make it so, so pretty. Can y'all see that glitter in there on top of that snowflake paper? It is so, so pretty. All right, so there we go. So we're going to let this dry. We're going to set it over on the table and let it dry. Okay. Fast forward. Let me get us fast forwarded. Fast forwarded to an hour later, or several hours later, and you can see the difference between the undone part and the done part. Look at this. Do you see that? Do you see my hand through there on that side, but not there? See? It almost makes it clear. So this was a piece that you can see the difference between where I put the glue and where I did not put the glue. Okay? So this is now dry. It is kind of crinkly. It is really neat feeling. I'm going to cut it where the glue ends because I had a piece of paper that was too long, so I just let it dry so that I could show you guys the difference. There we go. I'm going to show you another piece in just a minute. Sharon says, ta-da! And through the magic of television, isn't that what they used to say back in the day? And through the magic of television, just like that, it's already done. It's done and dusted. All right, there we go. There is our glassine paper. Now, everywhere there's white, when you use the glassine paper, it's going to be clear. That's the cool part. So let me show you another piece that I did. Let me get all of my things off of it. This is another piece that I did earlier. And it has a lot of different pine cones and pine sprigs. Now remember, you can take regular tissue paper and you can stamp these images on regular tissue paper, and it'll do the same thing. Just let the stamp dry, the stamp ink dry before you put the wet glue on it. But there's so many beautiful papers out there. I just hate to see you spend all that time stamping and stuff, when there's so many pretty papers out there that you could use. And especially if you save yours from Christmas, people are going to think you're out of your mind. But that beautiful tissue paper, it's always recyclable. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Now, why did I go to all of this trouble? Well, I'm going to show you. So I'm going to do a different one because I've already done two in that pattern. So I'm going to do this one. Now, you guys are not going to believe what I'm going to do with this. So first of all, I have a tag. Let me show you my everyday shipping tag. Okay, there it is. Now, my everyday shipping tag, I'm going to turn this paper over. My everyday shipping tag is about, I don't know what, 2 1/4 inches. So I'm just winging this, guys. I'm not measuring anything. I know, Diana, I don't have any Grinch tissue paper. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tag and I'm just going to figure out how wide the tag is in accordance with my tissue paper. So I'm just going to fold And you certainly could make these any size that you want to, and you know, whatever, but this is how I need to find something that fits my use today. So I'm just going to cut this paper just like this. Okay. And I'm going to give myself, probably an inch at the bottom. Just like that. Okay. That's all I'm going to need. I'm going to save the rest of this paper for later. Okay. So I need to give myself a little bit of an edge so that I can make sure this tag is going to slide in and out of this little pouch. So I'm going to fold this guy over like this. Okay. Now I'm not going to seal it or anything just yet. I'm just going to make a fold because you're not going to believe how pretty this paper comes out of here. Let me get my bone folder. Oh, where's my bone folder? Oh, there it is. I was going to say I did not bring my bone folder, but I did. I did. I am filming outside of my studio today, so I don't have, except for what I brought to this little table here. So, all right. Now, here's what you're going to do. So you're going to take, and I get to introduce you tonight to our newest product here, guys. These are already pre-done tape strips. I don't know how I lived my whole entire life without these. They have this little tab thing here that when you peel it, it is double-sided. So all you have to do, no cutting, no tearing, all you have to do is just put it down right here and then peel it down. And just like that, your double-sided adhesive strip. No fuss, no muss. Just like that, you cut it off or tear it, whichever one you want. And that is your double-sided strip. Isn't that amazing? You guys get, I believe there are 50 to a bag. And they just absolutely work so well. And you can see that strip under there. My paper is just a little bit too long, so I'm going to cut that off. All right. Again, we're not going to seal that just yet because we want to fold up the bottom. So we are just going to fold up this little bottom here. Okay. And now we're going to fold over the top. The reason I'm doing this is I'm going to show you in just a second what a cute little glassine bag this makes out of recycled tissue paper. But I'm doing the folds so that I can make sure I know where my lines that I'm going to cut are. Okay. All right. So don't you roll off of there. First thing I'm going to do is cut that flap off. Then I'm going to come over here and look at my other line right here, and I'm going to cut that little bad boy off. All right, so you have that. And then all I'm going to do is just to kind of miter that corner, so it's going to look like that, okay? So at the top, however, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to cut this piece out from between the folds. If I can't see the folds, there it is. I'm going to cut this piece out from the top. And you want to leave the sides here. You want to leave those intact. So you're going to cut this little bad boy out right here. Okay. So that it's going to look like this. Okay. Then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to come in here and just snip that, miter that little corner right there. And you'll see in just a second why I did that. So this is going to be the top of my bag. This is going to be the bottom of my bag. I'm going to fold it over. I'm going to remove the double-sided adhesive strip piece right there. Okay. I'm going to fold that right over on top. There we go. And now we have a tube. Basically a tube. And you can see from the front side, there's my little bone folder in there. Okay, so you can use either end as at this time, except I like to keep the seam on the back. So this is how I'm doing the bottom. Okay, so remember, this is recycled tissue paper, guys. This is not anything expensive. You don't have to worry about it. Like, it's just very simple. I'm going to take a piece of our double-sided adhesive, already pre-cut strips. I'm loving these, guys. These pre-cut strips, oh my goodness. I don't know how I ever lived without these. I don't know how I ever lived without these. They're already cut. All I got to do is stick them down, peel off the paper, and there they are. No big rolls of tape or, anything like that. So, and then I'm just going to fold this little bag into the bag as far as I want it to be. Just like that. There's the end of my bag. Here's the top part of my bag, so you can see that it has an opening. Look at that. Isn't that cool? And now I can take my tag, slide it down in there. Look at that. And now I can glue that down to my junk journal. How cool is that? So I've done that one. I've got a couple more I want to show you. What do you think? Like Sharon says, ta-da! Like Sharon says, ta-da! Okay. So there were also a couple of things that I wanted to try while I had, like, this is not just good for pockets. I thought to myself, you know what? I wonder, could I die cut a doily or something out of this beautiful paper? So I grabbed my Elizabeth Craft Design dies that has a doily. I love this one because it's kind of a little flowery doily. And I got my die cut machine. And I thought, you know what? I want to see if it does a good job making a little doily. Who knew, right? What a great thing to do in your books, your journals, your scrapbooks, whatever. Let me find a little scrap piece of this paper here. I have some of this really pretty. All right, I'm going to get one that has, I put the pine cone right in the middle of this piece. So I'm kind of choosing what I'm going to make mine out of. Now, I don't want to say this, but, if you're cheap like me, I guess it's not cheap, it's frugal, right? If you're frugal. Yes, that's what I thought, Diana. I thought, you know what? Teal glitter plats too. Yes. So Diane, yes, when I did it before, we were using like McCall's patterns, like sewing patterns, and we were making it vintage by putting some coffee dye on it. So I'm gonna cut this through one more time because my my plate is not. I wish I had my my plate in here, my precision base plate, but I don't. So I'm gonna run this through one more time just to make sure. All right, one more time. I just want to make sure because I think my my die cut needs the plate. Okay, so you can see that it does die cut beautifully. We're going to move this machine out of the way so that we can see what we're going to do with that little doily. All right, I'm going to grab my pokey tool because obviously we're going to need to pokey this out very gently. So we have the BoQ pokey tool. And I'm just going to find the release, just a couple of the release holes here. And as soon as you break one or two of these loose, the whole thing tends to just kind of pop out. So as soon as I get one or two of these loose, I'll show you. But look at that. Could you imagine? Like, look at these guys. I just want you to see how beautiful this is. Let me get a piece of paper because I think it being clear, it's going to, you guys are not going to see it as well. So let me grab a piece of paper so we can see it. Doo-doo-doo. Paper, paper everywhere, but none. Okay, this will work. Okay, there you go. You guys can see it now. It's clear. So I'm just going to, you know, gently kind of coax these little pieces out. And if I can't, I'll just get them with my pokey tool. Now, I would recommend running a piece of paper on top of this. If I was going to do this again, I would take a really thin piece of copy paper or something and then put it on top of here before I run it through. That way the little pieces are a little bit heavier and they kind of come out of the doily. I'm not really going to be too concerned about whether or not I get them all out because of how I'm going to use it. But I thought, you know what? What a beautiful, isn't that pretty? I know, Diana. I'm like, that is like something I would definitely put over the top of a bag or on the top of a card or a pull or a tag, something. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but I'm going to make something with it. I have some other tissue paper that I want to show you. All right. So this is tissue paper that I did earlier in the day, and I did it on the freezer paper. Remember to make sure it's on the freezer paper on the shiny side, because if not, you're just going to glue this tissue paper right to your freezer paper, and then it's not going to be any good for anybody. But see how it's supposed to come up, guys? Just very gently. Now, this may still be wet in spots. That's why it's tearing. So it's best to let it sit for 24 hours because, you know, you can see that even though I heat set it, it is still somewhat wet in spots. So I'm just going to tear some off right here, and I'm going to let the rest of it sit because I just need a little piece. So I'm going to let the rest of that sit. I have some blue and white tissue paper here. Let's see if this is any drier. Now, I will tell you that the amount of glue that you put down on the paper makes a difference in how the glassine paper comes out. So I'll just tear this piece off. You'll see that this piece of tissue paper is not as clear as the other one. And that's because I was very sparing on the glue this time, and it did not soak through all the way through my tissue paper. So the more glue that you put on the paper before you put your tissue paper down, the better your glassine paper is going to come out. So I will tell you that it just makes a difference, you know? So don't be chintzy when it comes to the glue that you're putting on that plastic piece before you put your tissue paper down, because it does make a difference in how beautiful the glassine paper comes out. So with that being said, let me show you a couple of the things that I have made before we move on. Look at these two little pockets here. This one has a card in it, and you can see I notched out the edge there. And it really doesn't show up as well until you put that piece of paper or whatever you're going to put in it, and it just looks fabulous. Look at that. So we have a little pocket here. We have a little doily. I took a pair of those, the funky edge scissors, and I did the top of this one. Instead of folding it down, I did the edge. And I'm going to distress these. I want to see how they distress because I have forgotten. See how pretty that edge is? So I have forgotten what it might look like when it's distressed. So with this one, I have a plan for this one. So let me move all of this out of the way, and then I can show you. All right, you can see how clear that is. And this one I sprinkled glitter on. You see the glitter? The big chunky glitter? You can sprinkle that on the paper while it's wet. And then when it dries, your glitter will stay on. All right. Let me go ahead. There's a little wet spot on this piece right here, so I'm just going to trim it off. And don't feel bad about throwing the pieces away, guys, because you can absolutely, oops, my camera moved. You can absolutely toss these pieces. That's not going to hurt anything. All right. Where's my die? Oh, embossing folders. That's what I was going to do. But I wanted to see if this paper would go very pretty in the embossing folder. So I thought, you know, I'm going to try that and see if my bag, if I can emboss it before I make my glassine bag out of it. So I'm going to take and run this through. This is a new Stampin' Up! Folder that I got. I think it's really pretty. It's kind of a damask pattern, sort of. Now, I'm going to tell you something that I just learned myself. After all of these years of crafting and using embossing folders, I never realized this, guys. But guess what? Do you see this line right here? That is so that you can line your paper up in your embossing folder. I never, ever knew this. You can line your paper up in your embossing folder so that way you know that it's straight. I never knew that that's what that line was for. And I thought that was funny. I thought it'd be a great tip to pass on to you guys because I never even knew that. So you can line it up in your embossing folder and make sure it's straight if you're one of those people that doesn't just throw it in there. You know, I'm one of those people that throws it in there. But if I need it to be straight, it's nice to know that I have that edge there. I never even knew that. All right, grabbing the machine again. I want to see how well the stuff embosses. Because I thought to myself, well, I know I can sprinkle glitter on it. I know that I can probably stamp on it. But I wanted to know if an embossing folder would run through it and make it pretty. So we're going to try it. There we go. And I can hear it crunching as it goes through the machine. That's so funny. It sounds so good. So satisfying. All right, let's put this off to the edge. Okay. And let's see what it looks like. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You can see that. Can you guys see that? I don't know if it shows up on the light or not. I don't know if you guys can see that. How cool is that? It absolutely does. So if you want a little pattern in your tissue paper, in your glassine paper, you can certainly make that a possibility. There we go. And I'm going to just fold that over so I can make a cute little glassine bag out of that one. Yep, there you go. Now remember, oh, I forgot to fold up the bottom. You got to remember to fold up your bottom here so that you have a line. There we go. And fold over the top so that we have our line. There we are. Now we can reopen this and cut off our edges. Okay. These are so delicate, and this embossing folder makes it even more delicate, but it's so pretty, and it just feels like super high quality, even though it's just some cheap old tissue paper, you know, like it really, really feels, I wish you guys could feel what it feels like to me. Here we go. We're going to do the reverse on this side. Oops, I think I just did the opposite. Oh, well. Oh, well, we'll do something else with it. We'll make it work. Okay. You know, sometimes when you're a crafter, you just have to be able to go with the flow. All right, so I have my tape strips here. Double-sided adhesive tape strips. And I'm going to put it right on here. Pull off my little thingamajig. There we go. No glue necessary. Goodness knows that we used enough of it to make this little glassine paper. There we go. I'm going to just fold this guy right over on top. If I didn't say thank you to everybody who's watching tonight, I just want you to know. Yes, Diane, it's Elizabeth Craft Designs. If I didn't tell you thank you for watching us tonight, I'm so sorry. Thank you all so much for being here this evening and watching us live here on YouTube. We have got so many things to share with you guys for the new year, and we're super excited, and we're really happy to be over here on YouTube. From what I understand, it's been giving us a better quality of video, which I'm happy about, so that you guys can not have to worry about being kicked off and losing your videos. And so I just want you to see how beautiful this looks when you fold it over. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Okay, now remember I said I cut off the top of this and I wasn't expecting to. Let me show you what I'm going to do instead. I'm going to take a 1-inch hole punch. At least I think I am. I think I brought everything over here, but... Oh, I did. It's right here on my table. Yes, Diane and Lo, it is Dies Everyday Elements by Annette Green, and it's called Small Doilies, and the number is 2018. I'm looking to see if we have any here. No, we do not have any here. So yes, 2018, and it's by Elizabeth Craft Designs. Okay, so I'm just going to take this punch. Most punch companies put a notch here on the side so that you can line up your punch evenly and make sure that you have it halfway in. So this is actually a 1.5-inch hole punch. I'm sorry, guys. And notch that out there, and then you can have your little... I'm going to put this tag in here just so that we can see it. I think it's glued into my envelope. Whoa. Come on. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Come on, tag. My tag is stuck in the envelope. Isn't that funny? There we go. So see, you can put your little tag down in here. Maybe. Now, one of the advantages to being able to use the embossing folder before you fold it up is that sometimes when you run the glassine bag through the embossing folder, when it's like this, it'll emboss it together, and it becomes too difficult to, to be able to notch it, to open it up, because it's so much force that it's kind of made the paper stick together. So yeah, you can now glue this down, put it in an album or page or whatever, and you've got a cute little pocket there. So with the doily, I wanted to show you, I've got this great little pocket right here, but I'm going to nab this piece of white paper because I want to show you what I'm going to do with that beautiful little doily that I just cut out. So suppose I have a piece that's going to go in that envelope right there. And you see how I notched out the envelope right there? I notched it out. I'm going to take this beautiful doily right here that I have. I'm going to take my pokey tool because I want at least the side that I'm going to put on the paper on the front of it to be pokeyed out. So pokeyed out. That's my new word for the day. We got zhuzh and pokeyed out. So we're going to be pokeyed out. All right. I'm going to take another one of our tape strips. These are all 1/2 inch strips of tape on here. I'm going to take my little tape strip and I'm going to put it across the back of my little doily here. Okay. I'm going to put that on there like so. Then I'm going to cut that off. And I love the fact that I can reuse this strip here just by simply pulling off the tab. So really kind of cool. Okay, so I'm going to fold my doily right in half. And I'm going to fold that tape strip right with it. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to use my bone folder here. And I'm just going to burnish that down. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to peel off that adhesive release strip right there. And I'm going to take the top of my piece of paper and I'm going to insert it right inside of that doily right there. And just like that, I have the most gorgeous little topper to that piece of paper. Look at that. And if it's not sticking down or you feel that, you need a little more tape, then go ahead and grab you the rest of your tape strip. I don't think mine needs any more, but I'm going to put some more down just because I want to show you how beautifully these strips disappear underneath your paper there. I should have cut that off, but oh well. Got my little scissors right up underneath there. Okay, and I'm going to peel that off of there. And talk about something disappearing underneath your vellum. Oh my goodness, these strips are amazing for that. Look at that. Look at how beautifully that strip disappeared. So I love these. Love, love, love these glassine bags, you guys. Tissue paper, a little bit of glue. Look at that. So when you pull it out, now the card even has a decoration. Isn't that cool? So there we go. We have so many different uses for your glassine paper. We've got all of these cute little pockets that I can now use in my journals or whatever. I am going to take another one of these circles because the Elizabeth Craft Design set does have a triplet of circles, and you can use those to notch out, or you can use them to put something fancy on the front of it. I am going to I have this little piece of, I don't know what you call it, embellishment. I don't know. And glue it down. And then I've got some twine here. So you guys might ask, well, how do you finish this up, Joyce? Like, you tell us all this great idea, but then how do you finish this up so that it looks like something that I could use? Well, I'm getting ready to show you. So I'm just simply taking some really thin gold twine that I have right here. And I'm just wrapping it around my little gift here. And then I'm going to tie a cute little bow. I'm going to tuck this under so it keeps all of the pieces together in the front. There we go. Just going to tie this all. Oops, I don't want it to be too taut. There we go. And then I'm going to put a couple of bells on it. I've got 2 or 3 little bells here. What do you say? Some red bells? Yeah, why not some red bells? Okay. Got some cute little red bells. I think that would look adorable on here. Think about a gift card for somebody. If you want to give somebody a really cute gift card, you could put it inside of a actual card. You could put it on the front of the card. I'm going to try to stick my... Hopefully I can get this twine through here, but if I can't, I'm going to give up. Oh, look, it knew it. It said, okay, let me go through there because she's going to give up on us. I might just have to use a piece of my tape and then Nope, there it goes. There's one. See, isn't that funny when just when you think you're going to give up on it and you're going to say, nope. Look at that. We need one more. One more little bell. Because it's better in threes. There we go. Look how cute that is. Guys, I mean, seriously, who would not want to put something this adorbs in your book? Look at that. Cut that off there. Spread it out a little bit. Like I just take the, there we go. Just spread it out. And there we go. We have a beautiful embellished little journal pocket. Yeah, I'm trying to spread it out and it doesn't want to go. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. There you have it. Isn't that beautiful? So there's one all embellished. I got this one over here that I had a little piece of something left on. It was a ornament or something that I had, and I took that little piece of greenery off because it had such a cute little bow. And I thought, you know what? This needs to have something on it. So I grabbed some red rickrack. And I thought, you know what? That is going to look super cool right across there. I'm going to grab, again, one of my tape strips because they're just big enough for this purpose. Here we go. I'm going to put it right across this here. Peel it off. And there is my piece of rickrack. I might even do two pieces just because I've got enough adhesive. There we go. You know, you can do whatever you want. Another thing that I noticed about this adhesive as well is like the ribbon that sticks to it because it's on this kind of wax paper. I don't know if you guys can see the strip or not, but it's on there. I was able to pull it off because I have not yet burnished it down. Look at that. Okay, and now I can just put roll up a piece if I want to from this strip here. Okay, I can just fold it over and then peel off my double-sided adhesive, stick it to the back of my little embellishment here, peel that off, and there you go. Now you have your beautiful little embellishment stuck right to the top of there. Look how beautiful that is. Now there is just a little bit of sticky left on that, so I am going to grab a little bit of glitter because who doesn't want some glitter on their tape over here, right? And then if you just burnish it into the glitter, guess what? I mean into the tape, guess what? No more sticky and it's pretty. There you go. Boom. What a cute little pouch to go into your journal. And we used the little doily that we cut out of it for the top. Isn't that gorgeous? So there you have it, guys. I think that is a great way to use all of your tissue paper that you had from your packages and stuff this year. Here's another one of these cute little pockets here that you certainly could put a gift card in or, you know, something of the sort. And then, you know, all different styles. There you go. I hope you guys enjoyed that. This video, I think this is a great way for you to use up some of your paper. By the way, I also want to let you guys know that we are now making stamps, personalized stamps. So if any of you need a stamp made with your name on it or whatever, give us a holler. We now can do that. I made this little Grinch hand right here by myself, and it is absolutely adorable. So if you are interested in getting one made with your name on it or what have you, then you can give us a call. All right. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to distress our bag here. I wanted to see if it would distress, and it absolutely does and looks amazing. Look at that. Yes, 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 yes. So there you have it, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this little tutorial. It is so easy to do these little glassine bags. Just a little bit of leftover paper. You can see that we can absolutely emboss these. We can die cut these. We can decorate them, make these gorgeous little glassine bags, and use up all of that leftover tissue paper or ones that you have from your Christmas. Okay? Hope you all have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you all same time, same place next week. Bye, guys.